What's the news, Philip?
We are moving to Bali.
We're going to Benidorm.
Yeah, we're going for an indefinite trip. We've booked a flight out. Don't know when we're coming back. You know, that's the goal.
Does this thing still work?
Hello?
Wow, so it's been like 3 years since we moved to Bali and posted last on here, really.
It's crazy. Time absolutely flies. Like, that feels like yesterday. It's so reminiscent and sad, isn't it?
So much has changed. Like, what is even going on with my life right now? I didn't have this tattoo back then.
I love out of all the things that have changed in our life, your first thought is the tattoo.
I'm seeing it in the shot. I'm seeing it and I'm like, I'm like a different person.
I still don't have any tattoos, just so we can get that out there. Nothing changed on my body in the past 3 years.
We're living in this villa. Like, so much has happened. I feel like we need to fill you guys in on how our life changed and why we're back as well. Mel?
Okay, I hold the conch. Yeah, where do we begin? Shit, well...
I'll tell you.
Okay, so has the conch again.
So, I mean, when we first came out here, we were, like, broke. I mean, I wouldn't say we were necessarily broke because we just came out of uni. So we had savings.
We had loads of savings, yeah.
I had like 6k savings. Mel had like 10k savings or something like that.
I'm not sure about mummy around.
Yeah, and we were living at her like family home for ages before that, like just trying to start our online fitness coaching business was what we were doing. And
charging people £60 a month, by the way, which we've since realised is absolutely
We
ridiculous.
had no idea what we were doing. Like we didn't know anything about business. We would never have paid any crazy amount of money for anything because we were just broke kids, not even from rich families or anything. So like the idea of charging someone even more than £60 for coaching seemed like expensive to us. Like, and we would never pay for that ourselves anyway. So we didn't know what we were doing.
But one of the things that I love the most about my time in Bali is that we have met so many people. We've networked so much with people that have taught us a lot about business and a lot about life. And that's where a lot of the changes in our life have come in, to be honest.
Exactly. But when we first came out here, we were still like those kind of naive kids, and we were trying to follow that path. And we were really struggling with it, obviously, because we were just burning through savings, charging people like stupid money, and they didn't even take it seriously because they were just, that's like throwaway money to them, which to us like was more than that. Anyway,
we were lucky enough though that we had been posting a little bit on like TikTok and socials and stuff before, mostly TikTok to be honest. And I think back then it was a lot easier to grow on TikTok and to get views than it is now.
We were just making like the most ridiculous videos that were
like
just
memes.
Just meme videos and stuff. Especially some of them were just like ideas that we kind of copied or like changed a little bit from what someone else did and just put our own spin on it. And they were blowing up. Like on here, the most views we'd ever had, which was a crazy for then, was like 10k views or something. And on TikTok we got like 19 million views on a video. So you can think about like how we were like, are we doing the right thing right now?
Yeah.
Especially because it was taking ages to make these videos, and those ones we were making in like a couple of minutes. And then we were doing like our fitness stuff, which was like our whole thing and like supposed to be what our business was, but it kind of felt like a struggle.
So we kind of quickly switched to doing more content, and we also
we went all
ourselves
in on
we did
the Mel and Phil
the
relationship thing. We went all in on that because we had
so
some
funny
people...
because we talk about Mel and Phil as if it's like an entity, like a thing.
It
like
is now.
I'm Mel and this is Phil, but that's Mel and Phil. Do you know what I mean? It's like a separate entity. But yeah, we went all in on that, and we got an agency that reached out to us, and they started getting us jobs, and we started making a bit more money, and we started.
It wasn't enough because
it wasn't enough, but it was
after 8 months in Bali, we did have to move home because we ran out of money.
But it was a shock, the kind of money you can make from those brand.
Yeah, when we were charging £60 for like a month of coaching someone and making them a plan, and then we were being offered like £400 to make a video, which took us a few hours. We were like, this is crazy. And that was only the start of it.
That, of course, as Phil said, wasn't enough to live. Like, we did move back to the UK and live with my parents again for like 4 months, I think it was. Even though Bali is generally pretty cheap, it's not so cheap now, I will say that, for anyone who's looking to move to Bali in 2025. It is very different to how it was when we first came out here in 2022.
I'm just going to change the camera battery because it's going to die. Sorry, didn't charge the batteries in like 3 years.
We're back on air though, it's all good. We were talking about how we obviously moved home for 4 months and...
Oh yeah, in that time we tried to just really like hone in on just trying to make money from brand deals and making content and just grinding really hard on content.
This was before creator fund days on TikTok.
No, there was a creator fund, but
Was
it was paying for views, and it was like
it was a different creator fund, yeah.
Yeah, the most we ever made, it was the creator fund, and then after that it was something else, right?
The creativity beta program or whatever the fuck.
But you know, we were getting millions of views, just like we were making 3 videos a day. That was like what we committed into, 3 videos a day for months, and that's what really grew our platform. We fully committed on that, kind of skipped that step while we were in Bali, and we were growing really fast. And then when we came back, we were like, let's go in on this, but we'll get more brand deals, because there was more brand deals in the UK. Like, we could do product stuff, which they weren't sending out here before. We only did like a couple apps and stuff.
But we were still growing super fast, and like then we started reposting stuff on Instagram as well. We did post some things on YouTube Shorts, like some of our videos, but we kind of gave up on that. I think we were just struggling to manage everything. But there was a point where we were growing like 2,500 followers a day on Instagram.
Yeah, that was when we were still in Bali, I think, and then it was kind of that
around
vibe.
That time.
We were just making so much content.
But yeah, as Phil said, like brand deals, we quickly realized that brand deals in Bali weren't as lucrative or weren't as often for us anymore as they were when we were in the UK, because brands don't want to send products to Bali, and the reason why is because customs will charge you if it's a clothing item.
Wait, sorry, are you talking about when we came back to Bali?
Yeah,
now?
when we came back to
Bali. Okay, so
Bali.
Mel hasn't said, like, we were in the UK for 4 months and we did get a certain amount of brand deals, and we thought like, okay, this is enough to move back to Bali, because we were getting like, there were some times where we maybe made like 1 or 2K each in 1 month or whatever, and we were like, let's go back to Bali and we can continue this. But yeah, that wasn't the smartest thing, because then when we moved back, we didn't get a single deal for like 5 months.
Yeah, something crazy.
But
a long time.
It was really hard to tell whether that was to do with being in Bali or to do with our agency, because even when we went back to the UK, there were times where we were back for 4 months and we didn't have anything for like a month, or it was over the Christmas period, and it was all like, oh, maybe it's because it's Christmas, maybe. So we didn't really know what the situation was, but we knew that we wanted to go back to Bali, so we came back.
It's generally up and down like that for creators in general, though, like with brand deals and stuff. Like, there are going to be certain months when, and just in general, when you're self-employed, like there's some months where you're getting loads of money, loads of, you know, deals are coming in, like money's good, and there are other months when you're like in a slump. Like, that's just the reality of so many factors affect it, seasonal things, like everything. I won't even go into that right now.
But we were fully relying on the brand deals, which maybe that wasn't a bad strategy, because we wanted to get really, you know, good at something first and make money from that. But yeah, when we came back out here, we just started running through our savings again, which wasn't much. Like, we barely built up any savings in that time. And after 5 months, we were like, oh my God. Luckily, we've been emailing back and forth about a brand deal for like months since January, and then that came through, and that kind of like kept us afloat. And then I don't know how, but ever since then, which was like a year and a half ago now,
we've been cruising on through.
We've just somehow just about stayed afloat, like, because we managed to get a few deals come in, we got some UGC come in, we decided to go really in on Snapchat, and we just posted all of our content on Snapchat and monetized. Like, we managed to get some money.
No, I think, like I say, we've been cruising through and shit like this, but actually, year on year, if we look at our growth and our money, like, Phil made a spreadsheet the other day and literally like tracked our like financial growth over the past 3 years, and year on year we do grow.
Check this out. So this is, can you see it like that? That's 2021, and it's like no money, and then just goes over to this year. And so, like, yeah,
there's progress, but it's slow progress.
I mean, like, 2022 was the year that we came out to Bali, and we only made £2,500 the whole year.
Imagine.
And then 2023 we made 8,000, which is not enough to live out here. Like, we had a bit of savings left over, you know, but last year was the first year that we just made enough. But yeah, the whole thing is, like, we know what all of the ingredients are now, but
for success,
for
our own growth, and
because of the fact that we were really like struggling just to stay afloat and like have any money to live,
we've had too many things.
We've had to explore so many different avenues. Like, anytime any money opportunity comes up, we've just had to follow that route and like spread ourselves so thin, because we've literally just been trying to survive. Like, it's not like, you know, we've met some people from rich families and stuff, and that's why it's annoying when people look at us and be like, oh, you guys must be rich kids. I'm like, it's not even like, those people just get to sit there and get really good at something while making no money, you know what I mean, and then suddenly take off. We didn't have that opportunity. We were like, we have to make money somehow, so we need to do that first, you know what I mean. Anyway, the point is, we don't want to live like that anymore. So now we've become kind of successful content creators. We've learned so much about business. We've learned a lot of things. And this year,
I just wanted to say before we get into that side of things, and also aside from finances growing year on year, like we have leveled up our lifestyle a lot. Like we were watching back our video from like the first video of us moving to Bali earlier, and we saw the bike that we first rented, and it's like little things like that. Like sometimes you take for granted how far you've come. Like you're looking forward all the time and you forget how far you've come. Like I looked out at our bike,
It's
our
true.
nice bike outside, and I was like, we don't have some crazy motorbike, but we have an NMAX. And I remember getting that NMAX and getting this villa, and like the feeling we felt of like, you know, when you've earned something, when you worked fucking hard for something and you've earned it for yourself, it just feels all the more sweeter. And like, we have this meme, I want to find the meme and put it on the screen, because every time we get a new thing, like a little level up in life, like, you know, like in Mario Kart where they eat the mushroom and they like grow up a little bit, like we always go back to this meme, and it's like a pigeon with like bread around his neck, and it's like the sign of wealth among pigeons. Oh, we love that meme, but
it's true though. It's true.
We'll have to give you guys a villa tour at some point soon, when it's a bit of a nicer day.
We'll show you the place.
Today. But we went from living in a guest house to, we first made a video when we first came to Bali of the villa that we moved into. We only stayed in that villa for 1 month because we obviously couldn't afford it.
It had an amazing deal. It was like £600 or something. I can't remember exactly, for like a month, which is
not happening now.
Yeah.
It was just after COVID, bear in mind.
And
so
even then,
when
we lived in the guest house afterwards, at the beginning the guest house was £100 a month each or something like that. The villa being 600 overall, so 300 each. And then it slowly went up until I think we were paying like £250 each or something. And we moved into this guest house because Mel's family came to visit us last...
No, we moved into the villa, not the guest house.
Sorry, to this villa, because Mel's family came to visit us, not this November, just gone, but the previous November. And yeah, that has been like a complete lifestyle change. Like before that point, we were in the guest house, we had to move home, we moved back into the, in the UK, we had to move back into the guest house again, and that lifestyle was just like not that good. Like yeah, you can afford more going out and being out in Bali more, but I think it was a little box, you know, and it was not very well lit.
It's a bit depressing, like to live like that in those 4 walls with like barely any natural light coming in. We had a tiny window, probably about this big, like.
But we couldn't afford to live anywhere else. And then when Mel's family came to visit us, her brother came, Ali, and we stayed all together here for a month. And then when the rest of his family left, Ali stayed, and we thought the 3 of us, we could pay to stay here at least for a month or so over Christmas during the rainy season. It would be nice to be all together. And I guess we just tried to keep making it work.
And we've been making it work ever since. We've just been month on month just pushing to make it work, basically.
Yeah, some months I don't know how we did it. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm happy to be vulnerable about it here. I'm not trying to complain or anything, but I just think it's good to like be honest and open so people can understand someone's situation.
I think people see us doing a lot of cool, crazy things in Bali, and like they forget that if you're a content creator, majority of these things you are getting not for free, because you're doing work in exchange for it.
All of the things we're getting.
But a lot of things, especially in Bali, are gifted.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like all of the cool things where we're going and staying at some cool villa, or like even just eating out. Like if we're posting about it, it's because it's a collaboration. You know what I mean? The rest of the time we're just cooking at home. But yeah, I say that because there's a lot of content creators, especially on TikTok and stuff now, who I see coming out and saying like, oh, if this content creator says that they don't make that much, they're lying. And I'm just like, okay, maybe it's like that in the US or the UK where you may be getting loads of deals, but here, like, it's not that easy to find deals.
I think we have a very niche situation.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah.
So my point is, like, we haven't made that much money. Like, what our average for last year was like £1,000 a month, which is literally what our expenses are. So there were many months where I had to borrow money off Mel or Ali. Mel makes more money than me
because I do UGC content as well, which
and she spends less than me. Obviously I eat a lot more, like it does cost more, and that's one of the things that I don't want to change too much. Is like I don't eat expensive food, but I want to eat like healthy, you know. I'm not eating steak every day, like ever actually, but I do want to eat like my just healthy foods, you
health
know?
is wealth. I would never compromise on health.
That. And I don't need to, like I know that money's coming, but yeah, I think the point is that we've learned so much now, and we've maybe just been avoiding some of the things that we know we need to do in order to progress. Like, we relied on having management before, but that doesn't work being out here, or even in the UK. If you really want more deals, you need to find them yourself. And we've known for a long time that we should be doing outreach. And I think now having like ChatGPT, not a sponsor, just I absolutely love ChatGPT.
I literally don't have a boyfriend anymore. Like, I lost my boyfriend. Oh, we have a cat, by the way. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
I lost my boyfriend to our cat first, and now I'm losing my boyfriend to ChatGPT. He literally fucking voice notes
I love ChatGPT.
and it knows my name. Like, I've never spoken to it in my life, and it's literally telling him, you and Mel should do this, and I'm like,
it's changed my life. It's making me into more of a business person, making me like take the reins of things. Like, I just come to it and be like, I just need to level up and I don't know how to do it. And it's just making me realize that if I want these deals, I need to email brands myself. I need to come up with email templates, and I need to like make a good portfolio and do all of these things. And so yeah, that's our journey for this year. And 2025, this is the year. This is why we're coming. This is why we're coming here, is because we want to level up massively. We want to really take ourselves into a better situation. I don't want to have any financial worries this year. I don't want to be worried that like I'm gonna have to leave Bali, or like, you know, like just have some bill that comes up. Like I didn't crash the bike, but I went through a really big pothole the other day on the bike, and it cost me like £200 to fix it, and like that has left me in the red. You know, I don't want to live that lifestyle anymore. I want to travel. I want to see the world. There's so much that I want to do. I don't want to have to start a fundraiser to be able to look after the dogs outside. I want to be able to just pay for it myself. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, we just want a better life now, and we realize that we just need to take things into our own hands. So that's what we're going to do this year, and we're going to share the journey with
we basically thought like, we haven't shared the past 3 years with you enough, and I wish we had documented that whole journey, because it would have been crazy to see the progress from like there to here. But yeah, as Phil said, we want to share the journey from now on, so that people can see the progression this year, where we're really putting not all of our eggs into one basket. What's the expression? Like, we're putting all of our focus and like drive.
I think it's just working smart, and like, yeah, not spreading ourselves so thin, but really focusing. We're really going to focus on our outreach, and getting our content back. I think we fell off a lot with our content because we lost
our growth has plateaued a bit.
We lost the motivation to go so hard on it, because it was like, what's the point? We weren't monetizing properly, so we're just getting all these views and not actually really making any money from it. So yeah, our goal is to monetize well, and yeah, there's a plan. We can explain the plan in more detail. Another thing is that we're doing real estate now,
whoop, whoop.
Which, yeah, it sounds kind of crazy that it is. It's kind of becoming more of a part-time job than like not a job, or like, it's hard to tell whether it would be full-time or part-time. It depends how much time we put into it.
It's
kind of like influencer real estate.
Affiliate real estate.
Yeah, affiliate real estate. Like,
we do a lot of affiliate.
We have our visa here for that, so that's like what we're doing in Bali now. Yeah, basically we know a guy who owns a real estate business here, and he wants to sell real estate, and
that's what we're working on. We got some upcoming projects which we're going to probably be sharing on here, because they're pretty cool.
Yeah, we can show you some of the behind the scenes. It's really cool, and it's like something that's exciting to get into. It's just a good opportunity for us as well. So like, we don't know where we're going with that one. It's kind of more like it's hard to tell how big of a thing that's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the point of this. We're just going to be like documenting our raw, behind the scenes, real journey, basically. So
10k a month, that's the goal.
Okay, I guess that's the goal.
From 1k a month to 10k a month.
Let's see.
Yeah, and if you guys want to know more about how things were before, we can talk about that too, because I know that we've like skipped a step here, but in some ways I feel like 1k a month is kind of almost like zero.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So
anyways,
we'll show you the journey. We're excited to show you the journey.
Yeah, we are.
And we're excited to see where we can go, honestly.
We've got a lot of fun things coming up this year as well, so we're going to be documenting them. We've got like, I don't even want to say what we've got coming up, because I don't want to jinx anything. But
I don't even
you'll
know
see
what we've
if
got
you stick around.
What we've got coming up. Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Lots of
things. Oh
things.
yeah, there is some cool things coming up.
But anyways, we'll save that for another
So yeah,
day.
if you guys want to see the journey, and you want to see what it's like to go from not making much money as a content creator to hopefully making a lot of money in a few months to a year.
I love the optimism.
And real estate and all of that fun. Basically, just self-employed people going from
Zero to hero.
Broke to, what is it called? Broke to...
Zero to hero.
Okay, so yeah, that. Then like, subscribe, follow. Most importantly, follow. Subscribe it is on here, isn't it?
I don't even know. I don't even know how to use it.
We haven't been on here in a while.
Yeah. So if anyone made it this far, then thank you for watching. Hi Mom, I know it's you. I know you're the only one. Love you. No, but yeah, thank you and stay tuned. Yeah, over and out.
Do people still do this?
We're doing this.